There is a cardigan sitting in a box in my closet that I have not been able to throw away for 3 years, and I think you might have one too. It's not just a cardigan, it's the thing she wore every single Sunday morning, the thing that still smells faintly of her, the thing that, if I'm being honest, I'm terrified to wash, because then it becomes just fabric. When someone you love dies, the grief counselors talk about the stages, denial, bargaining, all of it, but nobody warns you about the objects, the quiet landmines scattered through your house that detonate without warning on a Tuesday afternoon when you're just trying to find a pen. I kept 5 things I couldn't explain away rationally, and every single one of them made me feel a little crazy and a little human at the same time. The first was my father's wristwatch, a scratched up, nothing special Seiko he wore every day for probably 30 years. I held it in a jewelry shop for 45 minutes while the jeweler waited patiently, and I ultimately walked out with it still in my pocket, unwilling to resize it, unwilling to sell it, unwilling to do anything but carry it like a stone. The watch is stored now in a velvet pouch in my nightstand drawer, and I think the decision to store rather than display it was my version of keeping grief at a manageable volume. There's something about not seeing it every day that lets me remember him on my terms instead of grief's terms. The second item was a recipe card, handwritten in pencil, smudged with what I choose to believe was butter for a potato soup that existed only in my grandmother's kitchen, and apparently on this single fragile piece of paper. I could have just photographed it, and I did photograph it, but the copy felt like a rumor, while the original felt like proof. I had it laminated, which sounds clinical, but it was actually the most loving thing I could think to do. I repurposed it from a document into a relic, framed it, and it now hangs in my kitchen where it belongs. The third was a coffee mug chipped, ugly by most standards, with a faded logo from a company that no longer exists, and my brother and I nearly argued about it at the estate sale, which tells you everything you need to know about how grief turns ordinary objects into contested territory. We eventually decided neither of us would sell it, neither of us would store it, and we take turns keeping it for 6 months at a time, like the world's most emotionally loaded custody arrangement. The fourth item was a stack of birthday cards my mother had kept from my childhood, decades of them, in a rubber-banded bundle, and finding them meant discovering that she had quietly treasured every single one while never once mentioning it. I kept them all, added them to a memory box with other small things, because throwing away her evidence of loving me felt like erasing the record of being loved, and I wasn't willing to do that. Then there was the fifth item, a broken clock that had not worked since roughly 1994, but somehow survived every single move she made across 4 houses. The absurdity of a woman who valued practicality above all else, keeping a broken clock for 30 years cracked me open in a way nothing else had, because it meant she also kept things she couldn't explain, and suddenly I didn't feel so irrational. I had it repaired, and it runs now, and I think she would find that either touching or extremely annoying. Here's the thing nobody tells you about grief and objects. You are not being irrational, you are being human. Because objects are how humans have always externalized memory and love when words become insufficient. Every culture in recorded history has kept relics, from the ancient Egyptians to your grandmother's china cabinet. So if you feel strange about a cardigan, know you are in spectacularly long company. The decision to keep, store, or repurpose isn't really about the object. It's about finding the right relationship with the memory, one that lets you carry it without being crushed by it. Some things deserve to be used, some deserve to be protected, and some deserve to quietly exist in a velvet pouch in a drawer where they can be yours without being heavy. Grief doesn't follow a timeline, and neither does the process of deciding what to do with someone's things. Be patient with yourself, be patient with the objects, and resist the pressure to resolve everything quickly just because the world around you has moved on. The cardigan is still in the box, and I have decided, at least for now, that the box is exactly where it needs to be. If any part of this resonated with you, if you have your own unwashable cardigan or unresizable watch, I'd genuinely love to hear about it in the comments. And if you like this video, subscribe and check out all our other topics.